Hi all. These readings are for anyone who is trying to move on from someone or something at this time. Maybe struggling to, or maybe just needing insight and advice regarding the process of moving on. So however that resonates with you, again, whether it's a person, a situation, anything you're trying to move on from and you want some extra advice about. So I'm going to let you pick your readings. You can pick more than one, of course. I'm going to just use a different deck for each reading. I've got the Game of Thrones Tarot, the Deviant Moon Tarot, and the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot here, if you'd like to pick based on the deck. Otherwise, though, I'm going to give you a closer look at the image that showed up on the bottom of the deck after shuffling and meditating with the decks to prepare them for this reading in particular. So you can see what comes through there, see if you resonate with what you know about the card or the image itself, or just allow your intuition to pull you toward the right reading or readings, the right deck or decks. Sometimes I just go ahead and pause and put a pendulum over top the screen and allow that to make the decision for me. But however it works best for you, however your intuition works for you, right? And each spread is going to be mostly advice. We'll look at you and the energy that you're trying to move on from. We'll look at your all's past and future, but then we'll find out what you need to know that you don't about each of those elements. You, them, the past, the future, that will help you move forward, as well as get a card for what should your action be now, where should your focus be now. So it'll be mostly advice about how to move on. But let's just get into it. Reading 1, the bottom of the deck is the Chariot reversed. Again, maybe you resonate with the image, maybe you resonate with the what you know about the card already. That's reading 1, Game of Thrones Tarot. And information about all of these decks, as well as the other ones I use in my reading, can be found down below in the description. Reading 2, the Deviant Moon Tarot. This is the 8 of Cups. This is the card of walking away. 8 of Water. To me, it looks like somebody who's just like disgusted with it. Just, I'm done with it. But it's whatever calls to you for whatever reason. And then finally, the third reading, the Radiant Rider-Waite here has the Strength card on the bottom of the deck. So, with that, we'll get started with reading 1. On moving on. I can already feel how clear these messages are going to be. It's such a good feeling. 5 of Earth reversed, 5 of Coins reversed shows up for you. And for them, the 5 of Swords. 55. So definitely this period of time, this transition, this movement to getting over or moving on from after this past, maybe person specifically. It's a time of great change, great struggle to me, and significant change. They are still wanting to fight. Maybe fight for you, maybe just fight with you. They're certainly still battling themselves within their own mind, if they are not also verbally trying to communicate with you in a fighting type of way, right? The fight is not over to them. They're battling themselves. They're maybe battling you. You just feel that you have lost. I'm not sure if there's fight left in you, but well, I'm sure that there is fight left in you, but I'm not sure if there is the need to battle with this other energy that you're moving on from. Yeah, and in the future, the two of you aren't coming together. This partnership is not coming together, not anytime soon, with the Lovers card reversed here. Definitely not if it was a lover, right? But this can represent a partnership of any kind, a deep bond, an entanglement, contract of some type, perhaps. There certainly was a strong partnership here, but it's in the future we don't see it coming back together. Just to be really clear, like I said, I could already feel, I could just feel how clear they were going to be coming through. It's such a good feeling. The Knight of Fire, the Knight of Spears in reverse here is in your past. So it looks like someone took off, but it feels like some of you, for some of you, it was just that they alienated you, or vice versa. It was just that one of you alienated the other one. Maybe through literal flight, maybe through literally taking off. But possibly just in an emotional and mental way, right? It just, perfect, just alienated. Okay, so here. 10 of Cups reversed is what you need to know about that. The 7 of Cups is what you need to know about your present situation. Yes, everything is changing, and these changes are a struggle, but they're also significant because you have so many new options and possibilities in front of you now. This person and what you had together, that was not emotional fulfillment. It was not shared emotional fulfillment. It was not shared true joy for both of you. It wasn't. If this resonates with you, if it resonates with you, right? If it really doesn't, pick a different number, right? But it looks like they were in and out, or you were. Someone in the situation was in and out. Sorry if this has gotten too loud now. And I'm sorry if this situation got too loud. It was hectic. It was rushed. It was chaotic. They came in really quick and then they took off really quick, or again, vice versa. But it was there and then it was gone. It was and then it wasn't. It was passionate, fiery. Maybe they or you have some significant fire in your chart that stands out, Aries, Leo, Sag. But we all have all the energy. So in any case, it began quickly and it ended as quickly as it started. And that, for you, was not shared emotional fulfillment and joy. I wish you could see these just a little bit better. Everything just needs to just be tilted and scooted. But that's not, that really wasn't shared emotional fulfillment for one of you. One or both of you did not like how quickly things started, or the fact that that's the way that you two are, that you were and then you weren't, that you would rush in and then rush out, one or both of you. It wasn't making, I would say, probably either of you happy, that it was the type of thing that, started to burn quickly and then burned away quickly. And then you have the 10 of Fire here in reversed, clarifying the Lovers for us. So, no, the two of you are not coming back together, but what the cards with the Divine wants you to know about that fact is you standing alone on your own is going to take the weight of the world off your shoulders, is going to allow you to rest, to relax, and it may only be a break for some of you. I can't make those promises. If this resonates with you, we can do a private reading and pull cards specifically for you. Ask specific questions even if you want to, get your specific astrological information if you'd like to. All that information is down below in the description, lunartixtarot@gmail.com, plus you can find all the information and links you need down below. But in a general reading, I can't promise you that it's just a break, but I can say that for some of you who resonate with this, it's just a break, and a break that you need. But if you were to come back together, it would require the two of you truly standing on your own. And I'm sensing that a lot of you in this pile aren't actually enjoying your independence, finding gratitude for your independence. You're focused on lack. You're focused on the loss. It may be that this separation also damaged your finances for some reason, or is in the process of doing so. But like I said, now that you're standing on your own, and now that you're not worried about this energy that's in and out, you actually have so many possibilities, so many options in front of you, that once you stop to think about it, that becomes your focus, you're going to see that you're actually confused about what it is you want to do next, because you have so many choices. Yeah, look at this, guys. Bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords reversed. You have the Ten of Cups reversed, you have 3 tens reversed. This cycle isn't over. This isn't over. It's not finished. You do need a break, and you do need to stand on your own. But all of the words that are going to be spoken to find closure, to wrap this relationship, this situation up, ultimately have not been spoken yet. It's not finished. It's not finished. And so, in that space of it being unfinished still, there is a danger that the two of you could continue to repeat a negative cycle where you don't let it finish. It's not finished does not mean that this bond has not been broken. It does not mean that it won't give you options and possibilities to move forward. Oh my, the ads. To move forward on your own. This is something that needs to happen because you both deserve and need this shared emotional fulfillment. And if you're going to find it with one another, it's going to be after taking a break, standing on your own. And if you don't take that first, it could be a repetition of a negative cycle, a painful negative cycle, if you won't take that time for yourself first. Now, that's not to say, again, I can't promise you that all of you are coming back together. But the point is that this break is needed. This relieves you of a burden. It may be somewhere down the road the two of you can have that shared emotional fulfillment, but you did not. It's not necessarily anyone's fault, but someone was alienated. Someone was alienated. So oftentimes, if someone is pushed away and alienated, it's because the other person feels a little suffocated. And sometimes that's also no one's fault. It's something within ourselves that needs to be worked on. And I very much sense that this person has a lot of personal work to do, and you do too. We all do. But they're becoming aware of it, or are about to, because of the mental battles that are going on with them. Maybe, as we said at the beginning, maybe they're also involving you in those mental battles. Yes, maybe. But they're certainly arguing with themselves about whether or not they did the right thing, about how they could have possibly changed the outcome. Right? Or just why they repeat this pattern of being in and out of somebody's life, or attracting someone who is. Your focus should be on your own comfort and your own prosperity, embodying this Earth Queen here, the Queen of Crystals, focused on your money, your finances, your options, your home, your family, those tangible things and habits day in and day out that keep you healthy and that keep your world clean, organized, and blossoming. So that even when emotionally and mentally you are in a state of lack, you can look around you and see the beauty and the wealth and the things that you have to be grateful for that can lift you up, even if ever so slightly. Your environment, your home, keeping it clean can be so important. It's most important when we are depressed and anxious and scared and lonely. That's when it's most important that we keep everything clean, internally and externally, that we're eating clean and that we're living clean. Because even if it only helps just like 2%, even if it only just puts a little smile on your face, that might be the only joy you have that day if you're really depressed about someone you're moving on from or something, right? It's so important. It's so important. And they're saying that is where your focus should be. If you have little ones around, that you can be focused on teaching them, on helping them, showing them things. That's also a big piece of advice here that will lift your spirits and will help you to move forward, and help you to see the kind of partner that you want. If this was a partner, since we have the Lover's card reversed here, maybe you are a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, but if this is who you embody, this Earth Queen who loves luxury and to have her money right. Yes, of course, luxury, has often to do with having your finances in order. And she does love to teach, and she's very crafty in multiple ways. Very often shows up as an earthy witch character to me. So maybe practicing magic. But if that's the type of home and life that you want, if you lean into the fact that, I kind of am this mature earth character right here. I love that luxury. I love good food. This is the kind of stability. This is the kind of tangible pleasure that I need and want in my life to feel like my life was fulfilling. Once you lean into that and move that, it may move you forward, because someone who was in and out, and yes, very passionate and very intense, but not so much focused on that type of stable security, they can't offer you that. They either need to grow into someone who can match this energy for you, or you need a partner who does, right? But you have a choice to make. What you need to know, well, they have a choice to make. Well, there's a choice here to be made. The Two of Swords, clarifying their Five of Swords here. What we need to know, what you need to know to move on from, what would help you to move on from this, is to know that there is a choice regarding the mental battle that they're going through. Maybe it's saying, you can choose, you can look at the mental battles that they are putting themselves and probably you as well through, and you can either allow it to empower you to feel that you can and should stand on your own, or you can continue to focus on the lack, if we're looking at it as a choice for you. But it may be that they have some type of a choice to make between lack or standing on their own. So for a lot of you, you may not even know, you may not realize that the reason that they have been in and then out as quickly as they were in, right? Disappeared from your life as quickly as they appeared in it. It may have more to do with finances than they want you to know. They may want to be able to support you, and they feel like they can't, and they maybe even feel like they can't completely support themselves when they're engaging in whatever partnership they were in with you. If it was a partnership or whatever, they may just feel like they don't have enough to share, or enough to, take time away from work and have a romance or a social life, whatever the partnership was like. And they may feel they have to choose standing on their own so that they don't find themselves in lack and poverty with you, through no fault of any one individual, but just because that's the place they see themselves in. That's what they think. So it may have more to do with finances and pride than the other party wanted to convey, wanted to admit. So that's where your focus should be, is right here on the Queen of Crystals. The action you should take shows up as, again, the Ten of Wands, the Ten of, it's acorns in this deck, it's the Ten of Fire. So that's the fourth 10, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's the fourth 10, and the only one that's upright. Responsibility and dedication are the words that are noted here on the card, group 1. So this is the action that you should take. What I'm seeing here is, yes, it may just be a much needed break, but treat it like this is the completion of a cycle. Because again, even if you were to come back together, it would have to be much different. You would have to match your energy more. You need more security. Both of you need to be out of a mindset of lack. Both of you deserve that shared emotional fulfillment we don't see, right, in the past. So something would have to change so much so that this really is an ending any way you look at it. Something is over. This cycle is over. It has to be. Put the burden down. lay the burden down. And I think the responsibility and the dedication is mostly to yourself. As I said, your environment is so important. The tiny little details of your day that people and your things and your routine, any little thing that makes you feel ever so slightly better, these are the things for you to currently remember you are responsible for and remain dedicated to at this time. I mean, you both have choices to make. You both have choices to make. They're still in a space of choosing how to deal with this connection separating. You, on the other hand, I think look like you're on to making a choice about your future. Once you're ready, if you're there, you have so many options again that it may be kind of confusing, but what I want to say is no one is going to make that choice for you. And you may choose wrong and choose again. But where you want, to concentrate your energy now, no one will decide that for you besides you. The cards are saying concentrate your energy on making that choice. Remain, again, I think, dedicated to yourself, to your path, to what's healthiest for you. Clean the place. Clean up internally and externally. Make sure you're eating clean. Make sure you're cleaning your environment. Those small little things can keep you going and put you in the right mindset to not make the wrong choice the first time as far as which path is for me now. Where does my energy become concentrated now? What things are you already responsible for? What things are you already dedicated to? What do you want to be responsible for? What do you want to be dedicated to? What have you dedicated yourself to that needs dropped? What are you responsible for that you don't want to be anymore? How do you change that? Yeah. I feel like some of you are going to remain dedicated to them because you feel it's such a loss without them. You feel that you're in such a state of lack without them. And you feel this message that you are meant to capitalize on your dedication at this time. And I think that for some of you that's coming through and making you feel like, yeah, I should remain dedicated to them. This is a bump in the road. And of course, if that's your particular situation and choice, then that. But I think this message is showing up to say, what about your dedication to yourself? What about your responsibility to your own path? To your security, to providing yourself with what you need in a partner in your day, right? But we have gone on just a little bit too long in this message, so I'm going to go ahead and move to reading 2. I hope that the insight here reached you. And again, the information on private readings is down below. Thank you so much for checking this out. Good luck moving forward. Okay, let me just get these things out of the way. Okay, group 2 with the 8 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Whereas group 1, deck 1 seemed to be stuck. I'm feeling group 2 that you are already ready to move on. Like I said, that 8 of Cups looked very much to me like someone saying, I'm done with this. Hierophant reversed. So some of you, this may actually be a divorce, or it feels like a divorce to you. there was some type of a marriage, even if it wasn't a legal contract. It may have been a spiritual, emotional binding contract. The two of you very much felt like one another's quote-unquote husband and wife, right? Very much like divine, married, solid, certain couple or partnership. I knew I was going to continue to pull this back to romantic partnerships, but perhaps it was a business partnership or just a friendship that fell apart. But it felt as heavy, as weighty, as solid and certain. It felt as well, as spiritual as a marriage in a way. There's also the message that perhaps a lot of you are trying to take untraditional, non-traditional approaches to, sorry, I'm getting phone calls left and right, to moving forward, to moving on. They are still stuck in a space of feeling the loss. They feel the loss and they feel like one or both of you sabotaged this. Like you sort of, like almost as if someone has done it on purpose, especially with this Deviant Moon Terror's depiction of the Five of Water here. You see the little one looks like he's snickering and almost like he doesn't care. And then the older character here looks like she may cause more of a mess with her temper. And so I think that may have been what happened in the exchange, is that someone was careless and then someone was angry and you know, a lot of emotions spilled and a lot of possibilities spilled, right? $55. Group 1 had 55 immediately on the table after 2 cards, and you have 2 5s on the table immediately after 3. So this also is a time of significant change and struggle for you as well, Group 2. In the near future, I see you both still lacking each other, and one or both of you still feeling the lack of not having each other. It may actually affect your finances in a negative way as well. Just because when our energy is low and we're not accepting an inflow of love, then we also block abundance in other ways, right? And I don't mean that the love isn't coming to you. I mean that I think you're in a space where you don't want it right now. In the past, it looks like someone had to convey a harsh truth. Someone had to admit to someone that they had betrayed the other, or that they simply just couldn't stay, right? There is this harsh or simply immature communication here in the past that led us to this divorce. I see divorce, and it may have been you who had harsh or immature communication problems and issues, because we see here what you need to know about this is that someone needs to tame the beast within. Someone needs to control that desire to pop off at the mouth, to have a sharp tongue, to say the nastiest of things, or in very immature ways. Someone's communicating their feelings without really knowing how, and I think it ended up being mean. And I don't know if it was you or them or both of you, but this time apart, permanent or not, it looks like Group 2, you're advised to begin to tame that beast within yourself, or to know that that's what they're doing. You are stuck, dear. You are stuck. And I think it may have to do with not acknowledging that you participated in the problem. And if you're grieving this loss, this lack, it may just be that your process hasn't gotten to the point where you're ready to take a look at the role you played yet. They're focused on the lost. Well, yes, the lost, you. And they are focusing on the loss. They are focusing on the carelessness and the tempers and how it was just reckless that this loss has come about. And in that, as they focus on what actually happened, as they focus on the scene, the actions that you both took that led to this loss and this lack, right? As they focus there, they're finding forgiveness for you and for themselves. You are focused on the fact that it feels like a divorce. Like, damn, I thought this partner would be with me forever, and it feels like a divorce, that heavy, and it's keeping you stuck. So if you do what they're doing and look more at the actions you each took that led to the loss and the lack, and focus on it even though it hurts, rather than focusing on what you were, focus on what actually transpired, then perhaps you can move to the place that they're in, where you're actually finding forgiveness for both of you. More reckless energy, rushed, reckless energy here. Disrespectful, corrupt, being falsely motivated. And then we want a couple more cards as well. I think I'll get those from this other deck here. And then we've got Heartbreak on the bottom of the deck, group 2. So let's see where your focus should be. The only message that's clear enough so far about this Knight of Swords, definitely don't try to get back together with this person just to fix your finances, is coming through. That would be a sort of a false, corrupt, disrespectful motivation to try to bring that partnership back together. Be very much aware if that's something that they would do. Are their finances significantly better? Is their financial situation significantly improved by being with you? So don't let that happen to you, and obviously don't do that to anyone. Otherwise, just the state of being in the near future, or relatively near future, regarding the situation, this focus on lack, the state of mind where you're focused on not having them and not having, feeling like you don't have a lot of things that you do, feeling like there's nothing to be grateful for just because you're depressed about this one connection. Significant though it is, I know it is. That in itself is disrespectful to your future, to your choices, to the connection, to your personal development, growth, and evolution. Again, you're advised to tame that temper if you were part of the harsh words exchanged, and to look and focus at the reality of what happened rather than the reality of what the two of you were. That just keeps you stuck. Looking at what actually happened can lead to forgiveness here. So yeah, in that way, focusing on the lack, staring at the lack, perpetuating the lack mindset and experience, subsequent experience, right? It can be disrespectful to yourself, to your path, to those people that you will help on your path, to again, the possibilities, the future. This is that period of significant change and transition, but it leads somewhere. So you're sort of moving backwards and just hurting your own feelings and your own future by by focusing just on the lack. I think you need to get out of your own head. I think you need to get out of your own way. I think you need to get out of the house. We've got the Hermit card in reverse here as what your focus should be. So not on a Virgo. If they were a Virgo, don't focus on that Virgo. But contemplation and wisdom, I mean, that's something that you've been finding, spending time in solitude and on your own, trying to get over this. But your mind keeps going back to, but we were so solid, but this was forever, but we were this beautiful thing, right? Your mind keeps going there. So maybe it's time to get out of the house, and your focus should be on connecting with other people, with friends, other family. I just keep treating it like it was a romantic partnership, but you know if it resonates in some other way for you. And the action that you should take is to be honest and allow your words to be immature, your messages to be immature if they are, but to begin working through that. Because that's the problem here, is that someone had something to say, a truth to convey, and they just didn't have the maturity to convey it in the right way, and so got upset and ended up being disrespectful and mean, right? And I think you're really advised to work on that here. That's the action to take. Do be honest. Do wield those truths and do share them, and admit to yourself that your communication skills in these matters are a little immature, so it's not going to be perfect. Accept that, but try to convey it clearer than with mean words, disrespectful words, even screaming words, whatever it is that made it so, the message, the truth, so harsh. There's a way to deliver it better, and no, you may not be there yet, but you can begin working on it. I mean, this is one and the same as taming this beast here, I think. Slowly working toward more mature communication, beginning by admitting that perhaps your communication is immature, and just slowly work on that, conveying things that are difficult to convey in a nice, kind way, in the way that you would want it delivered to you, frankly, right? And so with this showing up as the action you should take, I feel like you still have something to say to them. I think you'd like to leave things on a nicer note. I do think it is over. Ten of Swords, Ten of Feathers here. This is the Ten of Air. This is about transformation and recovery beginning. This is finished. This has broken you, and someone is still waiting, is still resisting the transformation. And meditation has been and will be helpful, but I do also think there's a message here to get out of your head and out of the house as well. Definitely. But that I don't see anything wrong with going back to this person and saying, you know what, we were mean, we were harsh, that's not what I meant. I cared about you a lot. This is done, but I'd like to leave things in a nice way. You're advised to. And that doesn't mean you have to take immediate action either. If I say that and your first thought is, oh my gosh, it's so fresh, it's so soon, I'm afraid we'll, fight again or try to get back together if it was romantic, right? Then you certainly know better than I do in that respect. Don't rush it. That's not to say you need to rush in and say something. No, you do not. Don't go to that person and say the kinder version of what you meant to say. Don't go to them and let them, and make sure that things close on a nicer note until you no longer feel that you're in this state of lack. If you go into it, if you rush into it with this state of lack, with feeling like you need them or you need something they provided or you're without, then you may end up either fighting again or just doing something reckless in general, rushed and reckless. I see this character here just seems to be sneaking around looking for what they need. Don't go to them needing something from them. If you go to them to give them the gift and give yourself the gift of being nice and kind to someone that you clearly cared about at a certain point, then that's why you're going to them. go to them when you mean that, when that's true. If that's why you tell yourself you're going to be nice, then go to them when that's why you're going. If you're still in this state of lack and needing and wanting, then you're not going to deliver something. You're going to pick something up, and they don't have anything for you. They don't, they're not realizing that you're coming to get something, and then it absolutely can turn into a fight or something else toxic, right? Wait till you don't feel like you're in a state of lack. Wait till you don't feel like you need something from them. You don't go because you need to hear something from them. You're going because you want to say something to them. You want to be kind and you want to be nice, and even if they don't reciprocate in kind, that's okay. You still speak your piece. You still get the closure. You still know that you left things in a place that you're more comfortable with. And again, it doesn't need to be soon. It doesn't need to be rushed. It does need to be when you're not feeling the lack anymore, when you're not going hoping that they're going to fill that hole for you after you've done the work of filling that yourself. Not to be inadvertently dirty there toward the end of your message, group 2. But we will leave it at that, group 2. I'll have to leave it in your capable hands moving forward from there. This is already just much longer of a pick a card than I meant it to be. I hope the insight that you needed reached you. If you need a private reading, just scroll down to the description below. All of the options and links can be found there, as well as my email, lunartixtarot@gmail.com. I hope that the moving on process goes painlessly and smoothly moving forward for you, group 2. And I will move on now to group 3. Group 3 that had the strength card on the bottom of the deck to begin with. Perhaps you're dealing with a Leo in particular, but certainly, or have significant Leo in your own chart, but certainly you are in a space where the cards, the divine, are asking you to have strength. So I imagine this is a difficult split. It looks like somebody was a little manipulative. Group 3, it kind of looks like it may have been you, or because you've been manipulated, it severely affected your self-worth in the situation. Either way, whether you did something that was that false or not, and I actually don't think it was for most of you, but your self-worth is low. They've made you feel that way, or your own mistakes have made you feel that way, or both, but your self-worth is feeling low. They are either with someone, a lover, or they feel that they have a choice between two paths. They maybe feel like they can still go back to the partnership that the two of you had, or could move forward to someone else. And there's confusion here in the future. Yeah, I see manipulation, I see low self-worth, I see a choice between two paths, maybe two people. I see the confusion that could ensue from that exact type of a situation. They probably will continue to try to mislead you in the future. They're certainly confusing themselves. They think that they have more than just these two options. They seem to have lots of options and possibilities in their mind, whereas I actually feel like it's you. You have lots of options and possibilities here. I'm not saying they don't, but you both seem to have them in front of you. Let's put it that way. You both have lots of choices and options in front of you, but I think one of theirs is not actually an option, right? Group 3, they think that they can choose you or someone else. If this is a romantic partnership that we're talking about, or an ex-romantic partnership, they think they can choose you or someone else. And it may very well be their manipulation that has you feeling like your self-worth is low. Or just the what transpired between the two of you maybe makes you feel low in that way. Let's get the rest of these out. Same card in this position as group 2, but facing the other direction. So I see some immature communication in the past. Someone had a truth that they didn't know how to deliver. It looks like it would simply take some solemn contemplation and meditation, some solitude, to correct the immaturity in that communication. Your self-worth may be low because you've been working on something for a while and it's just taking way too long to see the results. It feels like it. Maybe it does have to do with your finances. Maybe that had to do with why the two of you couldn't remain close partners, romantic partners. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic partners, but I just keep going back to that. Yeah, maybe you all have been working on things for a while. If this person has manipulated you, recognizing that is certainly a success, though it doesn't feel like it at present. And it leaves you in a place where you have a lot of work to do on yourself. Or if your self-worth is just low in general because of other reasons, whether it's finances, this person, or like we said at the beginning, mistakes that you made in this connection that make you hate on yourself. Like, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I didn't try harder, whatever it is. Again, this is a success, recognizing that your self-worth is low and why, whether it was internal or external, the cause, I mean, recognizing that it is so, and even a step further, seeing why it is so, is truly a success. It leaves a lot of work in front of you to do on yourself, but that's the first step. That's where you begin. That's where the work begins, to first admit that, well, my self-worth is low for some reason. They're finding balance and they're finding balance and forgiveness. If they're moving down a new path with someone else, or just a different path than they were on with you, they're doing so slowly and carefully and precisely. They're keeping quiet, so I don't think you hear a lot from them, because they're focused, and this is a quiet, effortless focus that they have, where I think that they know that they've made the right choice, the path that they're walking down. In some cases, we are talking about them having chosen a new lover and finding forgiveness for you and for themselves in the situation, and just moving forward knowing that that's where they're supposed to be. And meanwhile, you seem to be trying to hold on to something that you just cannot hold on to, unfortunately. And it's going to keep you stalling yourself in the future here. You've got all these options and all these choices, and it can be confusing to have that many options and choices, group 3. And so you're sort of stalling. You're wanting to hold on to something that you cannot. Focusing on them and the past is keeping you from protecting your boundaries. And the place that you're stuck in as you're stalling and not making an option, not choosing an option, not choosing a path forward, is that place of a lack of self-worth, which will perpetuate the lack of self-worth, obviously. Sort of will perpetuate a false idea that you don't have prospects or choices, when you absolutely have more than you know what to do with. The thing about this message is, I think that if this was a romantic partnership and this other person has moved on to a new lover, and that's why they're so easily finding forgiveness for you and themselves and the situation, and that's why they're so certain that they're on the right path, because they just know that this person they're meant to be with them at this point in time, right? If that's the case, I really think then that you did some shady shit, group 3. I mean, I think maybe you didn't mean to, but whatever happened must have conveyed to them that you were manipulating them. Maybe you just weren't sure how to share a truth. There was this immature communication. Maybe you tried to share a truth and it just didn't come across correctly. But if that's the case, I think it's because from their perspective, they thought you, or maybe think, that you were manipulating them in some way. Now, that's not for everybody. It'll be a little different for everybody. Like I said, for others, that's just you having a lack of self-worth. Some of you have a lack of self-worth because you know that you didn't, properly share a truth that you should have. But it's put them on the right path, and they are finding forgiveness. And that can be just the worst, even though you care about them. And I mean, we, ultimately, we're going to be happy, right? You're going to be happy to see that they've walked the path they were meant to and are happy and healthy, etc. But at present, for you to be, still waiting on something, still waiting to see your own, self-worth sort of bounce back or grow in a way that it has needed to. It can be really difficult even just to sense that they've already moved on, let alone to know it. And so you are advised to celebrate. I know that doesn't seem to make any sense. But see, you had the Strength card on the bottom of the deck when we started, and now as we end, you have the Strength card reversed on the bottom of the deck. So, you're really called to take care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. What does your mind need that it's not getting? What does your heart need that it's not getting? What does your physical body need in the way of exercise and singing and dancing and eating the right foods need that it's not getting? Sunlight, are you out in nature? If they were an immature fire sign, Aries, Sag, or Leo, you're definitely advised to not focus on them, focus away from them. Focus on why your projects, your passion projects, your business, your work is taking so long. It's because the work is lacking energy, your energy. You do not feel enthusiastic about it, certainly not at present, because of everything going on, of trying to move on from something that meant a lot to you. But possibly even before this all happened, that project, that work, that would-be passion was lacking energy, and that could have perpetuated this lack of self-worth as well, lack of money and projects that you've been working on for a long time coming to fruition in whatever way they will. And if that could have affected your self-worth, which then could have affected the relationship, right? So your focus should be on why has it been lacking energy and enthusiasm, and what can I do about it? If it's just lacking energy and enthusiasm because of your present situation, then the question is, how can I focus more time, make more time for what excites me about this? But you do need to ask the question, why is it lacking energy? Because for others of you, the answer may be, because this isn't what I want to do. It's not making money because I'm not having fun doing it. It's not getting done because I don't want to do it. I guess I need a new project, a new passion, a new work, right? So it depends. And then while that's your focus, away from any immature, fiery energy and toward your own passion projects and what will make them move quicker, that's your focus. Your action, your advised action, is to celebrate. Find something to celebrate. You do deserve to celebrate the closing of this cycle, but if you feel manipulated, low on self-worth, or manipulative, heartbroken, like you're trying to hold on to something that won't stay, or possibly for some, worst case scenario, feeling like someone else has already moved on and how unfair that feels, then of course the closing of this cycle, the graduating onto the next level after this person, isn't going to be the thing that you celebrate, even though it deserves to be. And eventually at some point you will. Right now it's too heartbreaking for some of you. That won't be the thing that you celebrate, but you should celebrate at this time. So that's why we say find something, anything worth celebrating, and celebrate the hell out of it. Give yourself that gift. Give it to yourself. And a celebration, I use this example a lot, but a celebration could be a glass of wine and a good book in the bubble bath. Or, going out and just having lunch with a friend you haven't seen in a while. Or it may be a weekend of hard partying that calls to you. It's your celebration. You decide. But give that to yourself. It's miraculous. It's fabulous. On any given day, any of us can wake up in the morning and choose to say, I'm going to find something to celebrate, and then I'm going to celebrate it today. We can always do that, and we rarely give ourselves that gift. It sounds lovely, doesn't it? I mean, and you can celebrate in whichever way, again, that you'd like, that feels appropriate to you. This is the action that you're advised to take at this time. But if you are going to do heavy, hardcore partying over a weekend, do keep in mind that you are still of this world, okay? You got to take care of that vessel. You don't want to celebrate in a way that actually is a detriment to your mind, body, and or spirit, when the entire message revolved around the strength card, which is you need to condition yourself to give your mind, body, and spirit what it needs on a regular basis, because nobody else is going to do that for you. And it'll make it so that you can handle any type of heartbreak or situation where you need to move on from something so much easier now and moving forward. Finally, the last note we'll end on, you have too many projects underway that you're waiting to see come to fruition. And so it's funny because this is often a lack of focus. And I pulled this as, what should you focus on? And the card is saying focus on why you have a lack of focus. So some of you, the reason that projects and money-making projects or creative, passionate projects, whatever you're working on and have been working on, for a lot of you, the reason why they're technically successful, you're doing them, it's moving forward, but so slowly that you're not seeing what you need from it, right? It's probably because you're trying to focus on too many things at once. Where's the focus? Focus means focus. You need to choose the one that you want to see come to fruition first, or just figure out a way to delegate the proper amount of energy to each then. It certainly may mean a choice for some of you. And if you make it, maybe that can be what you celebrate. And suddenly it's all about you. Wait, I have my own issues to worry about. Oh, it's a choice I need to make. Wow, that was hard and I did it. Now I can go and celebrate that. See how none of that had anything to do with them. And suddenly your day and your week was all about you, and it should be. Needs to be right now. So with that, group 3, I will leave it in your capable hands from there. I hope that the needed insight was able to reach you there. And again, if you need a private reading from me, you just scroll down to the description box below. Check out all your options, the links. The email is lunartixtarot@gmail.com. I hope you all make wise choices for yourselves moving forward. I hope that the moving on process is painless and productive from here forward. And thank you so much for all contributions to Lunartix Tarot. I love you all, and I will post another reading for us very soon.